name's Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of the TV series Cruel Intentions streaming on Prime Video. I want to start my video by saying that I'm not familiar with this franchise at all. I haven't watched the 1999 cult classic Cruel Intentions, and I haven't watched beyond that the 1989 flick Dangerous Liaisons, which is based off a novel, which I have not read either. So I'm not familiar with this. Other than that, with the cult classic, obviously I know who starred in it because they went on to become really famous and started many other movies and TV shows that I did end up watching. I did think about going and watching that original cult classic movie before I jumped into this series. But then I thought, I want to go into this with an open mind. I don't want to have bias towards certain characters. I don't want to hate the series purely because I love the movie. So I just came into this with an open mind. I wanted to watch a new young adult drama series, and that's what I went in thinking, and that's what I went in and ended up doing. As I mentioned before, this is a story that has been told before. It was a novel, it was a movie, and now it's a TV show. But I think the TV show is trying to hit that younger generation. It's really trying to target young adults. I honestly don't feel like it is trying to replicate that cult classic. I don't think it's trying to copy it or imitate it. I think it's using the roots of that movie and adding fresh new characters that align with today's society. In saying that, though, I feel like if you haven't watched the original, then you would really enjoy this TV series, because I feel like it's copying a lot of hate from people on the internet and like my friends, from what I've heard, because of namesake, really, because of how it relates to the original movie Cruel Intentions. So I feel like if you haven't watched Cruel Intentions, you would probably enjoy this TV series more, just by the fact that you're going into this TV series without having the shadow of the original movie clouding you and clouding your thoughts. To summarize the plot of this 8-episode series, we follow the lives of elite students from Manchester College who live the Greek life. The mains in our story are two step-siblings, Caroline, played by Sarah Catherine Hook, and Lucien, played by Zach Burgess. Caroline is a woman who loves power. She has climbed the social ladder. She's finally sitting on her throne. She gets everything that she wants, except for the approval and acceptance of her mum, which she absolutely craves and doesn't get. Lucien is her stepbrother by marriage, and he gets everyone that he wants except for Caroline. And yes, there is a step-sibling lust going on there, and I'm not gonna lie, I was totally down for it. I was really buying their performances and their characters actually wanting each other. Of course, with fraternities and sororities, there are hazing activities that occur, and when one goes horribly wrong, Caroline does whatever it takes to ensure that the reputation of her sorority is upheld, that people still consider their society the highest and the most elite. In order to do that, Caroline makes a bet with Lucien to lure, seduce Annie Grover. Annie Grover is the vice president's daughter, so by getting her on board with Caroline's sorority, it will give them that clean image again, an innocent image. They will have lots of power and be able to make a lot more power moves by having Annie as part of their sorority. Of course, Lucien accepts because the prize is Caroline, and that is the one thing that he has always wanted and never gotten. So he is on board for that as well. Weaving into their little webs are storylines to do with Cece, who is Caroline's best friend, understudy, second in charge, whatever you want to call it. She's played by Silva, and her storyline has to do with her falling for her college professor, who is played by Sean Patrick Thomas, who apparently was in the original movie. There was another storyline that weaved into their Greek life drama, and that was with Blaise, played by John Kim. He's one of the frat brothers, and he uses the hazing incident to manipulate one of the victims of the hazing incident into laundering money for him to stay in college. I really enjoyed the cast of this TV series. Sarah Catherine Hook, in the nicest way possible, has the best resting bitch face that I've ever seen. She just came across as so powerful and has this face that just says, I'm cold, I'm a bitch, I get what I want. I'm not gonna lie, the moment that I saw Lucien on screen, I did do a double take and I thought, surely this cannot be the lead. This cannot be the heartthrob, the guy that every girl throws himself in front of and wants to have. That hairstyle just took me back. He's got these gorgeous locks, gorgeous curly hair, and it's like a mullet, like you've got the party in the back. And despite my opinion on the hairstyle, I just thought this is very not Greek. It's not prim and proper, and how I would expect somebody in a position of power to look. But I gotta say, once I got past the haircut and Lucian or Zach became Lucian, oh my gosh, he had charisma, he had charm, and suddenly I could see why all the girls in the sororities or even outside of these sororities were throwing themselves at Lucian. He was charming. Cece was probably my favorite character in this TV series. She was so fun and fresh, and she was riddled with anxiety. She was completely oblivious to most things, but she was just a character that you couldn't help but love. John Kim was equally as great as Blaise. He played manipulative, sly, cocky and asshole so well. I really had a fun time with his performance as well. And his storyline, like Cece's, they had a lot to lose. You know, you were really resting on, will they get sprung? What will they do here? There was a lot of suspense to their storyline in comparison to Caroline and Lucien, who, you know, held power. You know that they were going to get what they want. But at the same time, seeing them play those manipulative games and this sort of cat and mouse scenarios with each other, that was also very fun as well. But I thought all of those main characters did a really good job. Oh, another person who did really great too is Brooke Johnson, who plays Beatrice. She led the resistance against the Greek system, and she was super relatable. You just really liked her character, and you felt happy for her in a way that she was strong and powerful enough to raise her voice. But at the same time, you knew that she wasn't either of those things, and it was Caroline that was pulling the strings of her puppet. So you kind of felt really happy for her, but also equally just as sad for her because she was just a regular girl like everybody else. But yeah, Brooke really brought her character to life and I think made her seem very normal in what seems like such a fake Greek system. The next positive about this series is the pacing. I thought that it was spaced out really well, specifically between the relationship or the lust, I guess you could say, between Caroline and Lucien. They really did space it out so that there was tension there. You were in suspense as to, okay, who's going to win the game this time? Who's going to put what bet on the cards and who's going to pull a power play out of their packet this time? Very cat and mouse. And it was spaced out very well until we get to that finale where we get the big collision there. So I thought the way that they spaced that out was really good. It wasn't rushed. It didn't seem forced. It was spaced out very well. In case people got bored with the love triangle storyline, which can't see why people would because that's what's in most young adult drama plots. We had different storylines going on in the background. So we had Cece falling for her college professor, and I was invested in that because, as I said, Cece is a really, you know, hyper focused and super oblivious to things, and she was so clueless in this world. But I also wanted her to find love. So she had so much to lose with falling for her college professor. I felt like her stakes were much higher, so her story was more compelling. Likewise with Blaise, he was just this really manipulative guy who you really wanted to get sprung. You know, you really wanted to see him get caught and see what would happen. I feel like their story was more compelling because their stakes were so high, they had so much to lose, and they were real people. Whereas Lucien and Caroline, they had such a position of power that you knew they were always going to come through and get what they want. I mean, in the end, it turns out there's twists and things along the way so that they don't get what they want. There were two aspects of this TV series that I was very disappointed in, and the first was the costumes. Ah, so you make a TV series that is set in 2024 off of a 1999 movie, but it feels like we are in the 1999 movie. The costumes were so outdated, and I just really wanted to see these glamorous dresses or guys in tux at parties from the fraternities, or just guys in general, how guys would look hanging out at a fraternity. But I feel like all the clothing from the sorority or the frat house, all of it just seemed so dated. You know, it felt like they were trying to target young adults by making this TV series, you know, target this new generation. But at the same time, costume wise, it was throwing you off because it felt like you were also back in 1999 with the clothing and the outfits and the styles that people had. I mean, a good example of that is with Lucien. Lucien has this hairstyle that is very current, but yet he's in outfits that are very 1999. It's like really confusing for my brain. And I'm just disappointed that they didn't take advantage of really upping the costume game there. The other thing that I was disappointed in is the lack of seduction, the lack of lust, the lack of romance, the lack of sexiness. There was sex in this movie. There was a lot of sex in this movie, but it just wasn't as raunchy, as sexy as I wanted it. I did say that there was lots of, I thought, chemistry between Lucien and Caroline, but it wasn't very sexy. You know, there are a few touches on the neck and things like that, but I just wanted more. I wanted it more raunchy in season two. If there is a season two, I would really like more romance. I would really like more seduction. You know, it felt very safe and I wanted it to go beyond safe and go, ooh, this is spicy. I wanted spicy and I don't normally like spicy things, but I would have liked spicy things in this. Another reason why I think I really like this TV series is because of the Greek life. Here in Australia, we do not have sororities. We do not have fraternities. We don't have that Greek way of living in universities. So I like experiencing things. I mean, that's what movies and TV shows are all about, right? Experiencing things that you would probably never do or never feel or never see. Or maybe they are things that you do see and feel and you just want to see them on the screen. But I've never experienced the Greek life before. And I think it's really interesting, even though it's dramatized and it's probably not as Greek systems are, it's over dramatized. I understand that, but it's still really interesting to me. So I think I really enjoy shows like this and ABC's Greek. But in saying that, I really enjoyed this TV series. I thought it was quick. I thought it was compelling. I thought it was fun and likable. If you can take your mind away from the original movie, I think a lot of people have a lot of hate because of their nostalgia with the original movie. You know, it's not the same characters, not the same actors, should have been this way, should have had this Easter egg, whatever it might be. I think people hold a lot of value to the cult classic, but if you can take your glasses off and just look at this in a fresh light, that it is a young adult drama series that has the roots of the original movie, but it's bringing to life something new. You know, it's growing into a franchise and, to be honest, making this franchise known. Because, for example, with me, I am now off to watch the original movie, and I would not have watched that probably if I hadn't have watched this TV series. So hopefully it can gain some more fans and some more traction to that original movie. But as I said, I liked this one. If you like young adult drama series, hopefully you'll like this one too. Let me know in the comment section if you have watched either one. As I said, it's copping a lot of hate, so I'd like to hear people that actually did enjoy it. If that's you, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and then head on over to my gaming channel and give me a sub over there for my gaming stuff as well. And the links to all my socials are in the description box down below, so make sure you head down there and give me a follow on them as well. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.